I guess we could call this Prequel Episode 1, my thoughts and feelings about a project that we're calling Ina in a Year. First question, what's the point of this video? I am preemptively recording this in case we end up executing this project. I would love to be able to go back and have these thoughts and feelings captured. So first, let's start at the beginning. What is the project? In one calendar year, 365 days, 52 weeks, I would cook every recipe that Ina Garten has published in her cookbooks, including the cookbook that is set to release this October. It'll be a total of just around 950 recipes in total. A little backstory. At first, this project was just something that was a whim because we were shooting a piece for the blog about my trusted recipe sources, and we had this beautiful photograph of all of her cookbooks lined up in a rainbow. And then I posted in one of the Table Talk posts about how, man, looking at all those cookbooks makes me think that one point in my life I would really love to take a calendar year and cook all her recipes. Like, what a great sometime in my life project. And then I said it out loud to a couple of key people. I said it out loud to my husband, who thought it was an incredibly great idea. I said it out loud to a friend of mine who's in PR, and she dropped maybe the funniest line of support I've ever said that I cannot repeat here because it has an expletive in it, but it made me laugh so hard. Then I said it out loud to a couple other people who know and love me and I trust, and they too said, that's a really great idea, you should do it. And all of a sudden this one day transitioned into maybe now? I don't know. It just went from this whim to a possible reality very fast, like in the span of 2 or 3 days. That was unexpected. I quickly decided that even thinking about this project needed a game plan for how to think about it. A plan on how to plan, as bizarre as that sounds. What would we need to execute this project? What would it take? What would it take to do this? Just start brainstorming all the different things we would need categorically, not even problem solving those areas or coming up with the solutions. Just make a list of what you would need to do this and think about it from every angle. What are all the things we would need? And that filled up about 4 pages on the legal pad. We're about 13 different categories of things we would need, and some of them are obvious. We would need a plan. Duh. We would need funding. What would that look like? Some things that surfaced that were unexpected were things like, if I'm going to layer this onto my life, then things at the store at Hurley House, there are some things in my lane that I would need to pass off to someone else and put them in their lane. Like, there are just some implications for this that weren't as obvious as time and money. But anyway, I made a list of everything we would need. Once we made that list, it became very apparent to me and to my husband Tim that, as cool as this sounded, the only way to make an informed decision about whether or not this was a good idea or whether or not it was even feasible for where we are right now was to look at an actual plan. Map it out like you're gonna do it, figure out all the answers to all of these questions, and then look at it and decide, this is something we can do or no way. So that's where we are right now. Elizabeth and I started planning, making a plan. And I don't know how to adequately put this into words. The scope of the project is so large that even making a plan is taking so much time. The first thing we decided that we needed to do is we needed to have a spreadsheet that had every recipe listed, the category that it belonged in, the cookbook it could be found in, the page number, just a basic working list. It took us 3 days to do that. Typing 1,000 recipes into a spreadsheet takes some time. It even took a lot of hours for us to nail down, okay, she categorizes things like this, or I categorize things in my head, some mostly the same, but some things are a little bit different. Salad. Salad can mean a lot of things. There's main dish salad, there's side green salads, there's things like pasta salad, which aren't really a green salad, they're served cold. We had this long conversation about categories, and we assigned categories to everything. So we got that done. The next thing we did is we made a master spreadsheet according to weeks. Instead of planning out 52 weeks, what we're doing is we're mapping out 48 weeks. It just seems smart to pad 4 weeks in the year that are free and open. So we're giving ourselves 4 weeks that aren't mapped out for emergencies or holiday or sickness or who knows what. We started doling out the recipes evenly among the weeks. So we would take all the desserts and just willy-nilly assign each week, I think it's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, I can't remember the number. Equal amount of desserts, equal amount of appetizers, equal amount of beverages, equal amount of main dish, equal amount of soup. So every week got its allotment of recipes according to how many recipes were in each category. We got that done. That was huge. But right now I'm in the process of building menus that make sense. So great, roast chicken is in week 16, one of her 20 roast chickens. What are the side dishes that we want to assign to that? Going through and assigning sides to main dishes is where I am now, in a way that makes sense, because you really can't do that randomly. You don't want to assign blue cheese souffle to steak with blue cheese. Like it's gotta, we're trying to build menus that go together well and actually a menu that you would choose. This is proving to be real difficult. There are some things that I don't even know what they are, so flipping through the books and looking at it and realizing, oh, that's what that looks like. Okay, this is gonna need a potato, or this, no, this definitely does not need a potato. It's taking a lot of time. Once we have built menus, we will start to then look at the weeks and make sure that the weeks are balanced so that you don't have filet of beef, filet of beef, filet of beef, filet of beef. You have filet of beef and it's winter, so then there's a soup, and then there may be a stew, and then something like a chicken or a pork or a fish, so that the weeks don't get out of balance. Nobody wants to cook or eat filet of beef 5 times in a week. Well, we're not even there yet. I'm still building menus. The process is super fun. This is like my #1 fun thing to do, is to map out projects specifically related to menus. I'm kind of in my wheelhouse, but never have I ever felt so overwhelmed by the scope of something. It's humbling me quite a lot. I no longer have a romanticized vision of what this will be like. Just the planning process alone is making me feel small. The point of the planning process is that we're trying to evaluate 2 main costs. One is money. We are going to do a cost analysis. That's going to be an insane process because it will involve typing out the ingredients of each recipe and then researching and entering the cost of that item at the grocery store. The spreadsheet work here is phenomenal. We're also going to be looking at time. I have an idea of what I think this will cost, both in money and in time. And there's a number in my head, both on the money and the time thing, that if it exceeds that, it's probably going to be a thumbs down. I think the groceries are going to be about $500 a week. There will be weeks that are more, there will be weeks that are less, but I think the groceries are going to average $500 a week. I think the time is going to be 20 hours a week. We already know that the process will require 5 dinners a week, meaning there are 5 main dishes every week. To cook and execute 5 main dishes with sides, and that doesn't even count desserts and breakfast and appetizers and a drink. I'm thinking 20 hours a week, but I won't know till we do a detailed sketch of the prep involved. That's the end of this chapter about the project and where we are. I'm gonna do the next little video on how I'm feeling.